You haven't figured out one yet? Where's your movement? You haven't figured out one yet? I've been doing this 1 year. I have a plan and I have a movement. They've been in charge for 20 years. They got nothing. Nothing. I have a plan and a movement. And if you don't like my plan, no worries. Help me fix it. I'm happy being wrong. Again, I'm not about being righteous. I'm about the right answers to fix this state. If I'm wrong and you're right, I'll listen to you. I don't have a problem with that one single bit. The next thing I get, well, Larry Sharpe, I can't vote for you because libertarians never win. That's true. The last 3 gubernatorial candidates combined, a libertarian, did not raise $10,000 combined. I've raised over $300,000. This is not your daddy's Libertarian Party. The last 3 combined did not make as many stops as I've made, and I'm not done yet. This is not your daddy's Libertarian Party. This is a different environment. It's a different campaign. This is a winnable race. This is a 5-way race at least. If Nixon actually stays in, it's a 6-way race. That means 30% could win this thing. I already poll at 25% already with people who know who I am. So if my name gets out, we can win this thing. We can make real impact. This can work. If you support me, if you vote, if you actually vote, we can make change. We can make this a better New York. We can make this a new New York. Thank you. So I'm happy to do something. I could sit here and talk for 4 hours, but I won't. Instead, let me take some questions, and I'll answer questions based upon what matters to you. Go ahead, please.
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Yep.
They don't tax us on clothes down there. Do you think that...
You're in Pennsylvania?
No, I'm from there.
Oh, but you live here now?
I moved here.
Awesome. Thank you for coming back. Thank you.
Been in this area for 6 years. Do you think that the state should punish us for wearing clothes?
Yes, I think the state should punish you all the time. I'm kidding. Of course not. No, terrible. No. His question is, should there be a tax on clothes?
Yeah, I think there is here, but in Pennsylvania...
Yeah. Sales tax on clothes is probably way, way, way down on my priorities. That has very low priority at all. Would I consider getting rid of it? Sure, I would, but it's very low. The problems in New York State are massive compared to that. So it just isn't a big issue for me. But theoretically, sure, but just not a big issue. Did I answer your question?
It's not what I wanted to hear.
I know. I don't tell you what you want to hear.
So how are you going to slash...
Sorry, I don't do that.
How are you going to slash taxes?
Ah, great question. Now that's a better question, slash taxes. People are far more concerned about property tax than tax on clothes. So if I have a choice on which tax I'm talking about, school tax, property tax, going to focus on that, clothes tax, that's maybe year 4 or 5, we'll work on that one. Let's work on the bigger issues. School tax, property tax, that's the big deal. What do I want to do with taxes? Several things. Number 1, I want to end the unfunded mandates that hit the actual counties all the time. Unfunded mandates are horrible. Horrible. What are they doing? The unfunded mandate forces the local people to raise taxes just to survive. They have 80 or 90% of their budget is already mandated. So they start doing property tax or school tax. They start doing that all the time. Instead, there's a line item right now that we can change. Property tax, that many of you don't know, you don't vote on. Your legislation votes on it. So when they're in trouble, they go behind closed doors, call a crisis, and raise property tax 6, 7, 8, 9%. 17%, thank you, yes. When they can't do that because you're revolt, they do a sneak thing. What do? They reassess your property. They do that. What's the sneak thing they do? They reassess the property instead, yes. We can stop that by putting the pressure on them and allowing them to start their budget at 0. If you could actually start your budget at 0, you wouldn't have to do that. That takes the pressure off. That's number 1. But that's not enough. The second issue is, I want to start raising money through ways other than taxation and lowering spending. We can lower spending by changing education, we can lower spending by changing how we do it Medicaid, and we can lower spending by changing how we pay for our infrastructure. And one of those things is using our infrastructure and leasing naming rights to make money on it. Some of you have heard my idea before. Why in the world do we have a Mario Cuomo bridge? Boo, terrible. Why don't we instead have a 3M bridge or an Apple bridge or a Pepsi bridge? Yes. These are companies that spend billions of dollars every single year. Billions with a B. Billions of dollars on advertising every single year. They drop $20 million on a stadium that's used on the weekends. You tell me they wouldn't drop $50 or $100 million on a bridge that's used by hundreds of thousands of cars every day, that's mentioned hundreds of times during rush hour in a 16 million metro person area that is New York City? Of course they would. How do I know that? I already have bankers asking me how long the lease will be. I already have it. They're already figuring out how to finance it. It will already happen. Imagine doing that with all those bridges and tunnels. Yes, so many of those bridges and tunnels, we could raise billions of dollars in revenue that no longer have to be taxed. But here's the next thing. They have to control maintenance. They control maintenance. Oh my God, Larry, if you give maintenance to a big company, they'll let the bridges collapse. Our bridges collapse now. Our bridges collapse now. And we have no recourse. How about instead, if they control maintenance, we still own the asset? What does that mean? That means that we still inspect. If the bridge is bad, they have to fix it. They don't fix it, they lose the contract, which means we'll actually have safer bridges. Yes, safer bridges, and guess who's paying for the maintenance? They are, which means we don't. Lowering spending. Oh, crazy, lowering spending. And on top of that, less corruption, because now the governor isn't handing out the contracts to his cronies. They're paying for it instead. Less corruption, more money, safer bridges. But here's the best part. If they're paying for it and the maintenance, no tolls. Get rid of tolls. Wouldn't it be great to cross this state without having to pay a toll every 5 minutes? That'd be nice. If you're a trucker like I used to be, you pay per axle. You're paying 75 to 100 bucks to cross one bridge. Horrible. That begins to raise money. Now I'll go to someplace that's more localized for the MTA, which is New York City, the MTA. Why aren't we using our rail lines at night when actually right now there's no passengers on it? Why aren't they freight lines? Why aren't we having freight forwarders pay for that? Help to retain, yes, these are all new ideas that will raise money. No, did I say lower taxes? I didn't. What I said was raise money through ways other than taxation and lower spending. What am I trying to achieve? A surplus. If you just cut taxes, like Republicans always say, you create one of two things. Someone else pays your tax burden, right? So I'll lower your payroll tax, but then you'll pay for it in something else, your property tax. I'll lower your school tax, but you'll pay it in now when your road tax. It keeps changing, right? Or worse, we increase our debt. This state right now has about $300 billion in debt. So I don't want to just lower taxes. I want to create surpluses. If I create surplus at the lower level, at the county level, you guys can decide how you want to lower your taxes. You might tell me it's property tax. You might tell me you don't want to pay for shirts anymore, and maybe that clothes tax matters to you. I'm fine with that. I don't have to be the hero. I'm happy with all of you being local heroes, and you can all lower taxes how you feel appropriate. I don't know what tax should be lowered. You do, because you pay them. So how about you decide and not me? That's what I want to do to lower taxes. Did I answer your question? Yes. Awesome. We do that, we will lower taxes and change everything on how this state's run. Great. Any other question or comment? Go ahead. Yes, the state actually makes a decent amount of money on these things. It does. And also, as long as the state, I'm sorry, he's asking about state roads and such, and interstates and bridges and such. The tolls that the state gets all now go to the actual general fund, the slush fund, right? So it all goes there, with one exception. About $6 billion goes to the MTA in New York City.
How much are they robbing us for?
About $6 billion. Yes, yeah, every year. The MTA's budget's about $16 billion. And give or take 6 of that comes from the state as a whole. So you all pay part of that $6 billion. Yeah. Say again? The lottery money was supposed to go to schools. It does not. It goes to the slush fund. Yes, exactly right. It goes to the slush fund. That's correct also. Yes, which is why I'm not just going to cut taxes. We have to change how we raise money and pay for things. This is a really bad idea. You're right. We get tons of money that goes from a bunch of reasons why we do things for our interstate and have tolls and such is because if we follow certain rules, the federal government gives us money. So we get federal money. As a general rule, no. I'm sorry? That's the problem. He just put it right on. Very often the rules that the government gives us actually are so detrimental to our actual economy that it actually makes it worse. I'd rather not have the money. And so very often you will hear me have ideas where I'm cutting ties and cutting strings from the federal government because it often is a problem for us. It makes things worse. I'll touch education real fast because it kind of covers all of that together. Excuse me. Well, you know what? Let me touch your question right now. All right. Someone asked me, they said, Larry, how are you going to pay for I-81? I-81's a disaster. It's broken. We have to fix I-81. I hear it all the time. How are you going to fund it? I said, I'm not going to fund it. They said, what? Whenever you hear people say funding, you should in your head think that means you're being taxed. Funding isn't magic, right? Funding is you're getting taxed in some way, shape, or form. So I said, I'm not going to fund it. They said, what do you mean? I said, Google Road. Yes, Google Road. How about the idea of, yes, this guy's clapping. Why aren't you guys clapping with him? You're leaving him alone by himself. He feels bad. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Kid knows. Yes. So what are we going to do? I'm going to say, you know what, Google? You want to build a road next to I-81? Build a road next to it. And it's a Google road. And it's got the electronic stuff in it. It can have, Google cars. And it can have a driverless car. Whatever you want. And the maintenance for that, and the rent for that is the maintenance of I-81. You keep I-81 running, you get to keep your Google road. That's how it is. Now, what does that do? Several things. Number one, I-81 now will be put together with the most effective, efficient way of making that road work. Why? It's a long-term lease, and Google doesn't want to pay a bunch of money to upkeep it. So what will they do? They won't do the Band-Aid fixes that we always get. They will do a long-term fix because they don't want to pay for it again. We'll get an actual long-term fix. Not just that. We have more choices. If you want to use the regular interstate, go ahead. And what are the tolls? None. Google's paying for it. There's no tolls. But if you don't want to use that, use the Google road. I don't care. Use whatever you want to use. Less taxes, better service, more options. That's what we're trying to achieve. So with that, we won't get federal money. Good. I don't need it. Google's paying for it anyway. I don't require your federal money. Because without the federal money, I don't have federal regulations, which I don't want anyway. I said I want local control. I meant local control. Right? I meant it, and everything I tell you increases that. Let me go to schools if I can. Same concept. I want to change our education system. If you talk to any Democrat, Democrats say, more funding, more funding, more funding. You talk to Republicans, what do they say? Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Both of those mean nothing. They mean nothing. Neither of them fix the problem. The system is broken. We must fix it from the bottom up. Number one thing, get rid of all standardized testing until high school. No standardized testing until high school. Standardized testing for little kids, 10, 11, 12 years old, does nothing but bad things. Number one, it's an unfair way of grading teachers. Teachers are not good because their kids get good grades on standardized testing. That's an unfair way of grading teachers, unfair. Second, it's an unfair way of funding schools. Schools aren't good because of that either. But third, most importantly, it actually makes kids who are 10, 11, 12, who can't take tests well, feel stupid. Now they are judged the dumb kids. Shame on us for having that in our school system. Yes, shame on us for that. We're creating a second class of student for what? For nothing. And if you've had a kid in your life who doesn't test well, you see how dumb they feel. And when you have a kid who feels dumb, they rebel. That's what kids do. That's what kids do. Why are we doing that? It's silly. Goes away. To do that, of course, two things will happen. Number one, Common Core will go away. Fine, let Common Core go away. I don't care. Let it go away. Totally fine. Totally fine. I'm sorry, you have two hands up. Oh, sorry, yes. So Common Core will go away. And I'm okay with Common Core going away. I'm not. Next year. Vote gold next year. Vote gold. Up to you. You're going to decide. Vote gold next year. Go, I'm sorry?
Where do you stand with union trade workers in New York State?
All right, let me finish education, and then I'll cover unions. All right, let me finish education first. All right, so once that goes away, Common Core will go away. I'm not against Common Core. I'm against the mandate. I'm against forcing teachers to use it. The reality of it is, if you're in education, there's a small percentage of kids who will actually learn better on Common Core. If you're a teacher and you happen to have that kid in your class and you want to use Common Core, please do so. I'm the only guy who will tell you, let teachers teach, then I actually let them teach. I don't say, let them teach, and then add administrators. I don't do that. So that'll go away. But the second thing that'll go away is federal funding. We will lose about $4 billion. The entire budget is about $60 billion. 4 comes from federal, that will go away. But you know what else will go away? All the regulations and mandates and the strings coming attached, which means we can get rid of administrators. We can get rid of administrators. We actually have districts that have more administrators than teachers. That's also shameful. The average teacher in New York State makes about $80K as an average. Some make less, some make more, but the average is about $80K. The average administrator makes over $100,000. You dump 2 administrators, that's 3 new teachers. That's smaller classrooms. Or that's raises for teachers. Or that's more computers. Guess who's not going to decide? Me. You will decide. You will decide. Again, as I told you earlier in my federal taxes, I will provide surpluses to school districts, and school districts will decide how to spend that money. They will decide. Yes. I don't know what's right. I had a guy yesterday tell me, Larry, we should have a farm in my school because we live in an area where it's a lot of farming, and we want to start teaching kids about farming, and we should build a farm in my school, and we can't. I said, when I'm governor, you can if you want to. It's your money. If you think building a farm is a good idea, go ahead. If you think not, don't. It's fine. The only string I will ever have to any money I give any school district is only one string. Only one. Transparency. That's it. You can't hide the money. You cannot hide the money. If you are going to show where you're putting it, it's fine. If you think in your school district you should have a farm and you should have animals, okay. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe you're a farming community. Maybe that's what you want to, okay. I had a woman call me and say, Larry, we have a problem. And that is, when the kids come into school at kindergarten, they don't know anything. They don't know the basic colors or letters or numbers. And I said, okay, how can we fix that? Note, I asked the teacher. I didn't say, I'm a super smart educator, I know everything, or I'll put a panel together of experts. I didn't say that. I said, teacher, how? She said, I want to pay the parents. I'm not joking. I thought that was a terrible idea. But you know what I told her? Okay, give it a shot. Guess what? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. She said, I think we should pay parents $50 if their kids pass a test when they come in at elementary school. If they come in, we'll give them $50. That'll make the parents teach the kids. I think that's a bad idea personally, but I could be wrong. Say it again? More funding, some more taxes? Some more taxes? Some more taxes? Note I kept saying that. She said funding. Whenever you hear funding, that means taxes. I'm going to show you how I fund it in a second, but it won't mean more funding. I'm going to show you how I fund the entire thing with less money and no taxes, and I create an actual surplus. You guys ready? I'm almost there. I'm almost there, guys. I know it's long, but these are deep-rooted problems that I can't solve with one thing. It's a big issue. Let me keep going. All right, so not only that, I told her, try it. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't work, everyone knows it doesn't work. It's transparent. We all saw it. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she has the answer that gives us better kids. If that's the answer, let's copy it. I'm okay with that. I don't mind being wrong. I just want happy New Yorkers, happy kids. I'm good being wrong every day of the week. No problem.
How much time have you spent in a school? Like, just personally, like, have you spent time in?
I was a teacher.
For how long?
4 years.
Where?
Yes, not here, overseas.
Okay, so
yes.
a very different atmosphere.
100% yes.
Okay, so
yes.
that's where is all of your, where are your ideas coming from
Yeah.
about Common Core and
Great
stuff
question.
like that?
Yes, I'll tell you where they're coming from. They're coming from me talking to teachers over the last year.
From,
Here,
like, here or, like, other parts of New York City?
all over New York State. Oh, you don't know me, do you?
No.
Ah, okay. I've been traveling New York State for 12 months. Yes, and I've been to all places just like this. Everything I've come up with has been 3 ways. One, I thought it was bad myself. Someone told me it was bad. I then sat with my policy team And I said, how can we fix this in a way that will get the right answer at the end? That's how everything came up. To be forward with you, maybe I'm wrong. I've said before, I could be wrong. But here's the difference. You can, if you want to, be mad at me and go, Larry, this idea won't work. If you want to, people do that. But what are you comparing it to? Perfection? I lose every time. Or the status quo, which sucks. The status quo is embarrassingly bad. So, and how do I know this? We dropped $22,000 per kid, $10,000 more than the average of New York State, and everywhere you measure us, at the best, we're 33rd out of 50. Our best. Sometimes we're 39th, 40th, horrible. So if I'm wrong, I hope teachers will come back and tell me, Larry, you're wrong. Let's change this, tweak that. I will say yes to all of it. If they're right, I will say yes to all of it. But what I'm telling you is I have a plan no one else does. And I'm also prepared to say my plan may be wrong. But if you're going to come to me and go, Larry, your plan's wrong, I'm going to say, help me fix it. If you just go, I don't like it, I'm going to say, go away. I'm being very forward with you. If you just, I don't like it, go away. Because go vote for the guy now who's giving you crap. Go there. It's fine. That's your status quo. But if it's saying, Larry, it's not working, here's how we can fix it, my ears are wide open.
What's the timeline for your plan?
Probably, if we do it right and everyone jumps on board, we'll actually start it implementing it December of this year. It should start by September of next year. That's my timeline. But again, if I'm off, help me. Help me. I'm okay. I agree. Then maybe it'll be next year. But here's what I find out. Every teacher I've talked to so far is like, wow, you have an actual plan. Let's talk. Wow, you have an actual plan. I'm in. Administrators, not as much. Some, but teachers love it. The union leadership can't stand me. The teachers love me. That's how it works. So yes, did I answer your question?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome, good, okay. So let me finish the next piece. I think K through 12 is an anachronism and should not exist anymore. K through 12 is a bad idea. Should be K through 10. The last 2 years of high school for too many people are gym, study hall, smoking weed, and video games. Yes, and if you've been in school, you know it's true. That's the last 2 years for too many students. Not all, but far too many. How do we know that? Because you see kids going into college right now, and the first year is 13th grade because they're not ready for college. And now our college kids are taking 6 years as an average to graduate college. So now they're 24 years old, never had a job, and we go, why do they have no work ethic? I don't get it. We set them up for that. Well, Larry, they can go to BOCES. They could, but the problem is the image of BOCES is terrible. You have people now who say, oh, you only go to BOCES if you're the dumb kid or the bad kid. That's terrible, and again, shame on us for having that environment. We need people in BOCES. We need trades. The trades in this state, the average tradesman's 50. That's terrible. I want 50-year-old tradesmen, I do. But not as the average. I want the average to be 30, 35. I want 50-year-old tradesmen training those who are 30 and 35 and 25. That's what I want. I don't see it. Yes, I don't see it. I see help wanted signs everywhere, and I see guys who are hiring people, and you know what they tell me? I'll take anybody with a work ethic. That's what they keep telling me. Anybody with a work ethic. We're not pumping that out at all. But here's the funny part. BOCES is for the dumb kid, right? But now the dumb kid goes to BOCES, he's 24, right? But the other kid who got forced to go to college, he's 24. The college kid has $100,000 in debt, a degree that has no use outside, and is now working at Starbucks. The dumb kid, he's a plumber, he makes at least $70K a year, and has no debt. Doesn't sound so dumb to me. Sounds pretty smart to me. I think somebody labeled him wrong. Somebody labeled him wrong. I want more tradespeople in New York State. We need them. That's why we have so much foreign labor. We need tradespeople in New York. So here is my answer. I'm going to fix it right now. You guys are all on board. I'm going to get to you. I promise. I have the answer. I thought this through. I'm going to give you the next piece. At 10th grade, you take a test. You pass your test, you get a high school diploma. Now you have 5 choices as a 16-year-old kid. 5 choices. Choice 1, you think college is right for you. No worries, college is good. We've been told a lie And the lie is the only way to success is to get a 4-year college degree and get a great job. That's a lie. That is only one way to success. You can have success many ways. College is great for some people, not for others. And maybe, yes, thank you. And maybe college is not right for you at 19. Maybe it's better for you at 29 or 39. That's fine too, right? Absolutely different. So instead, you want to go to college? Awesome. 2-year prep school. 2-year prep school so that when you hit college, you are ready. You know what is expected of you. You even prep you for a specific college. You're going to go to a law school. You're going to go to a medical school. You're going to go to a science school or a math school or insert thing here school. You are ready to rock and roll. So when you get there, you can graduate in 3 or 4 years. You take advantage of internships, of incubators, and now you're ready to rock and roll when you get out. That's option 1. You say college is not for you at 16. No worries. Go to a trade school. Go to a trade school, become a plumber, become a carpenter, become a mechanic, whatever you want to do, become one of those. Do that. Now you're 18, you either have a license or you're ready for an apprenticeship. You can get out there and start making money and work right away. New York State needs you. Please do that. That will be awesome. You don't like that? No worries. You're the super smart kid. You're the smart kid, so bright, you're bored in high school, you're book smart, there's no tomorrow, you can pass any test. Awesome. Take your SATs, get an associate's degree at 16. Start. 16, 17, 18, get your associate's degree. You're going to be a scientist anyway. Start now. Go ahead. All good. Do it now. Absolutely. Why waste your time in high school? Right? No worries. Do that now. 4th option. Get a job. Just go to work. Get a work ethic. Learn what it means to have a boss. Learn what it means that when your boss says show up at 8, that doesn't mean 9:30. It actually means 7:45. Learn that. Understand that. Go and work. But Larry, kids will make mistakes. They're 16. I know. Make the mistake at 16, not 26. The price for failure at 16 is nothing compared to the price for failure at 26. Yes, nothing. Not just that, we have 20-somethings in this world right now where if you ask them, do you feel like an adult? Half of them say no. They say no. There's a thing now called adulting. Have you heard that? Some of you have. Yes, that means 20-somethings who don't know how to be an adult act like adults. Called adulting. That didn't exist when I was a kid. I can't change parenting, but I can change the environment, and I'm gonna. 16, start making decisions. 16, start doing things. I want people up and running by 18, 19, 20, have an idea what they're doing. Yes, we can do it. We used to do it. We can do it again, 100%. Now, the thing I always get, though, Larry, how are you going to pay for it? All right, here's the rules. In New York State, the state government has to pay by Constitution for grades 1 through 12. Got to pay for it. Great. We'll pay for this, too. How do we pay for it? All right. When I was in the Marine Corps, I got out of Marines. They gave me a GI Bill. The GI Bill said you have X dollars and Y years to spend it. Same thing here. They get $20,000, sits in an account that the government will pay a check to, their institution they want, $20,000, and you got 5 to 7 years to use it. Good luck. Here's what I promise you will happen, and this will deal with your issue right now. There'll be a bunch of trade schools that will pop up. Good, solid trade schools will pop up, and guess how much they'll cost for 2 years? Yes, they will, my friend, $20,000. And there are a bunch of prep schools that'll pop up for 2 years. Guess how much they'll cost? Yes, they will, my friend. They will cost $20,000. Why? Because you could build one. Because a bank will give you a loan. Because you're guaranteed government money, a bank will give you a loan. You can start one of these schools up. Yes. And these schools will be started by people who actually see a problem. It'll be started by people who actually want to fix things. It'll be started by people who actually own companies that need plumbers, who can't find them. Yes, thank you for your clapping. Yes, you will find that happen. You will see them begin to make that happen. Schools who want the right students will start their prep schools. How do I know that? It's already happening. Columbia already has a prep school. It's already happening. I know because my daughter goes to it. Yes, it's already happening. I'm not making these things up. Half the time this happens in Europe already. They're already at a K-10 system in Europe in most of these companies. And the kids go off to specialize. We should be doing that. But here's the cool thing. We drop $22,000 per kid per year. So we drop right now. With this plan, the last 2 years, $10,000 per kid. We save $12,000 per kid. Times that by the 400,000, 11 and 12 years we have in the state, that's over $4 billion. That's our federal funds. Right there. Done. We lose not $1. In fact, we have a surplus. we get better results, we get happier kids, and we get happier teachers with less money, not one extra taxpayer dollar, no funding required. Go ahead. Say it again? I don't know what that means. Yeah, there'll be special schools for that. There'll literally be prep schools that'll be for sports. Of course. There's going to be like a football school. That's going to exist. Of course. Right? In fact, guess who might actually help to sponsor those? The NFL, right? Maybe the College Collegiate Association might. They might even sponsor them. Right? Why wouldn't they? Of course. Of course. That's the point. To make this happen, one thing has to happen. If you realize, we have to get rid of the Board of Regents. The Board of Regents is a disaster. They will lose all their teeth so that can happen. Because again, I'm not going to be deciding what school gets built. The Board of Regents decides what gets offered. And they shouldn't because they don't know any better. But you know who does know what should be in the trade school? The guy who hires tradesmen. That guy knows. What should be in a football school? The scouts who bring the kids in know what should be in the football school. Again, I don't know everything. I'm not trying to be your emperor. I want to be the marketer in chief. I want to be the guy who supports every local community and supports small businesses, which is why I do all my events at local businesses to support local communities. Yes. Did I answer your question? Awesome. Great. Go ahead.
To get back to his question, but it's a side adjunct to yours in education. These are all great ideas.
Yep.
How do you get the teachers unions to go along with them? Because their power has become so entrenched.
I love it. Yes.
To make any changes at all.
100%.
Pulling teeth.
Yes, I agree. 3 things you have to work on. Number 1, realize something. The teachers are actually behind me. And with the Janus decision right now, teachers don't have to be part of that union. They can actually change and shift unions. Unions will have to react to their teachers. They haven't had to in the past. Now they must because teachers can opt out. That's number 1. Number 2, teachers unions can be mad all they want. I'm not stopping teachers from making money. Teachers will not lose 1 dime. I didn't stop any funding. I'm not going to cut their salaries. If anything, I'm offering them to get more money as I provide surpluses. Let me go further with this. Funding. I don't want any school taxes. Yes, no school taxes. I instead want a flat fee to come from the state that says your district has X number of students times a certain number. I don't know that number yet. I'm thinking it's about 16, 17K is my guess. Boom, there's your check. Good luck. No more secondary money coming in. No more my friend has a company that builds football fields, so I think you should have a new football field, so I'll give you a $10 million so my friend builds a football field you don't even need or want. No more, you guys might know this, right now if a school doesn't spend its money, what happens to that money? It goes away. How dumb is that? How about instead I just give you the money? And if you save your money, you can just save your money. You can decide to give a bonus. Yes. There are rules now with the unions that say you must hire someone who has a master's degree to be a teacher. The only string I ever have is transparency. If you choose to change that, you can. I don't mind. If you want to keep that rule, you can. I don't mind. Perhaps only people with master's degrees are the best teachers. Maybe, I don't know that. Maybe they're not. I don't know that. Again, to my point, you'll decide. You have places like Rochester that are some of the worst school districts in the country, not the state, the entire nation. Horrible. They want to change, whatever they say I'm okay with. Whatever they want. I want to start bringing in dogs. Deal. Go ahead. I'm in. You've got a 7% graduation rate for black males. Whatever you want, I say yes. 7. Not 17, not 70, 7. Anything you want, I say yes. That's embarrassing. I hate saying that. It's so embarrassing. But it's true. Anything you want, I say yes. No issues. You get your money, you're done, good luck. Why? Because the money now won't change depending upon what your test scores are. The money won't change depending upon whether you have more or less teachers. The money won't change depending upon some crazy algorithm right now. The money changes depending upon how many kids are in your school district. That's it. So you can, if you want to, consolidate if you want to, but not because you're afraid of money or because you want a grant, but because it is the best way to support your local community. You will choose to do it the way you feel appropriate. I'm not against you consolidating. People say, we have to have just one school district per county. Maybe. Okay, you decide. The money's the same. Do what works best for your community. I'm in. That's my goal. Thank you. Did I answer your question? Yes, and here's the next thing. I don't need teachers' unions to support me. If they're mad at me, so what? That's the other thing. I don't have a career to protect. I don't have cronies to pay back. I'm not a career politician. I'm a business guy. If they get mad at me, oh well, what do I care? So what? I need 30% of the vote to win this thing. And a bunch that's going to come from the 70% of New Yorkers who don't vote. So all the hardcore people who are going to vote union no matter what and vote Cuomo, I don't care, vote Cuomo. I'm still winning. Doesn't matter, I'm still winning. Not concerned. Doesn't matter at all. I'm going to fight for all New Yorkers to make New York a better place to live, whether unions are with me, against me, whatever. And when they actually see that, they'll come on board because I'm going to help them. I don't have a problem with unions. Collective bargaining is a good thing. Collective bargaining is in the First Amendment, right? It's what it is. It's in the First Amendment. It is basically freedom of speech plus freedom of association. I'm fine with it. At the same time, I'm fine with the Janus decision. You should not be forced to be part of a union. In any way, shape, or form, you should not be. But if you want to be part of it, be part of a union. I think it's awesome. They should do that thing. Does that make sense? I think I answered. You walked away, so that's a yes. Okay. You had a question or comment?
Yeah, where do you stand with union-backed trade workers in New York State?
I don't know what that means. Could you please give me a better question?
Okay,
It's a very vague question.
I'm a carpenter with Local 277, union-backed carpenter.
Awesome.
Same kind of problem, brotherhood, not here in any official capacity, but I also work alongside union electricians, plumbers, and so forth. So I'm just kind of, if you're not aware of that situation in your state.
I'm confused on what you're asking me.
Well, okay.
You see, you're telling me.
I'll lay it right out.
Please lay it out, please. That's better.
Currently, I'm on a job where it's the general contractor is a non-union general contractor. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
What my problem is there's a number of different trades on that particular job that I personally feel are being underpaid for the job they're doing.
Gotcha. What do you want me to do as governor?
I'm looking for answers. I'm looking for you.
Oh,
I'd
no.
like to see it be fair.
Oh, here's what I'm about. Yep.
Fair pay for the same work.
I am absolutely about transparency, 100%. And I'll let everybody know that's what's happening. But I'm not going to force them.
No.
But I'm happy to be transparent in everything. Yes, 100%. Be transparent. But I'm not going to force them. The reality of it is, if people want to support unions, they should. They don't want to, they shouldn't. I'm not against either way. I'm not going to force them. But I'm absolutely happy to be transparent on all those things. People should know what's happening. Absolutely. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Awesome. Good. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead, please.
Monterey Shot Camp.
Yep.
Is that going to reopen?
That's a great question also. And here's the issue when it comes to anything when it comes to the criminal justice system. We have a big problem here. And that is we have completely shut out our corrections officers in everything we do. Why do I bring that up? Because to make any real change in criminal justice, particularly within the prisons and getting people out of prisons, we have to make sure our corrections officers are part of the situation, part of the solution, and they're not. Some of you may or may not know, the corrections officers don't even have a contract. They haven't had one in, I think, almost 3 years now. They're not treated very well at all. Their union has been completely ignored by the Cuomo administration. I will give them a contract. It's personal to me. My father was a corrections officer at Rikers Island. So it's personal to me in that regard. But here's the issue. Some of you don't know. I've seen the criminal justice system from both sides. My father was a corrections officer, and my mother was a convicted felon. So I've had both of them in my system. I've seen it from both sides. Yes. So I know how it can be. And I want to make sure I know there are three types of people in prison right now. Those who are in prison who really should be in prison and probably should never get out. Those who are in prison who should pay that to society and should have a second chance at life like anybody else. And those who shouldn't be in prison. The problem is I don't know which one is which. Yes, I don't know which one's which. How do I fix that? Who knows? I don't. COs do. They deal with them every single day. And I want to create 2 types of programs, coming in and going out. And it's similar to the Humvee program in Massachusetts right now. Everything I tell you has been done in some way, shape, or form some other place. The Humvee program is a situation where they have 2 COs, 2 corrections officers, with several volunteers who function with one type of community, in this case, veterans. But maybe other communities, maybe it could be gangbangers, could be people in a drug war, it could be anything, but one kind of community. Could be people arrested for possession, right, who aren't violent. It could be any of those communities, right? And the COs help pick them and help guard them while volunteers come in to make things better. These are volunteers who, for in this case, they were that, had that problem, and had success. In this case, they were veterans, were incarcerated, found success, they come back to help. Yes, that's a real separations program. How it works is right now, you have people, right now in Massachusetts, the average recidivism rate right now is about 75%. For that program, 5%. Massive difference. It makes things a whole lot better. We can do that for those coming in too. When they're coming in, if they're only possession or whatever the case may be, when they're coming in, create units that when they come in, should they be in Gen Pop? Should they not be in Gen Pop? Can we put them in a boot camp type situation? Should we not, right? And again, COs have to be part of this. Every corrections officer I meet tells me the same thing. Number 1, I'm already their therapist. I'm already their guy who helps out their marriage counseling. I'm already their legal counselor. There's enough corrections officers who would happily jump into this field to make things better, and there are volunteers everywhere. There are so many nonprofits, yes, who are telling me, Larry, I want to help, I don't know how. Larry, I can't help. Larry, I want to help, I can't help. We connect these 2, we will change everything. And whether that specific facility should be opened up or not, I'm not going to decide. They will. They will. Whatever will make it work as best as possible, that's what's going to happen. I want people to have a second chance. Yes. But COs are beat up too. The average lifespan of a CO is 58 years old. Every CO I know knows someone who's committed suicide. This is a problem. We treat them poorly. We've got to fix both sides of this equation. Both. You had something to go ahead.
Age before beauty.
Age before beauty. Go ahead.
What about the helping the surplus on these taxes?
Say again?
What about helping with taxes, like all these states that legalize that have a profit with marijuana tax credit?
Oh, marijuana. You're talking about marijuana and hemp? Okay. Let me touch hemp and cannabis. I'm a huge fan of regulating hemp and cannabis like onions. And I mean like onions. One exception, you got to be 18 years or older to purchase it. It's the only difference. Everything else, like onions. And that makes some people angry. I know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I get it. And we're very full with you. The advantages completely outweigh any negativity, and it's not even close. Not even close. That makes you angry. I'm sorry. You don't like what I'm saying. I hope I still got you 80%. But here's how it works. Hemp and cannabis should be regulated like onions for the number 1 reason. Farmers. Farmers in this state are being crushed, particularly small farmers, being devastated. You give them the opportunity to actually grow hemp or grow cannabis, they will have a shot at surviving. They will begin to become small businesses. If we then add on top of that, treating them like small businesses, so they can have cheaper when it comes to insurance, cheaper when it comes to workers' comp, getting small business loans. They can actually then take on their farm, create manufacturing sites on their farm, and create craft products. Craft hempcrete, craft hemp plastic, hemp rope, hemp cloth, cannabis for sleeping, cannabis for cancer, cannabis for whatever. They create all these things. How do I know this? Look at the beer industry in New York State. We did it with the beer industry. It is already working, it's booming in this state. We can make it booming for small farmers. They have a shot at actually surviving and competing and winning. And it'll bring the youth back. They love hemp and cannabis. Oh my God, they do. Love hemp and cannabis. They'll pack up from North Carolina and Tennessee and come right on back. And they'll be back here. And they'll be working here and they'll bring their families back. It will happen. That's what I want. So yes, number 1's farmers. But number 2, there are literally hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers who have chronic pain. They have chronic pain. I just met a guy, I forgot where he was, who had lost one of his arms in a motorcycle accident. And he's like, I have pain every day. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I meet people come to me all the time. Larry, I can't sleep. I wish you'd make marijuana legal. Because right now you have 3 options. Option 1, an opioid. An opioid right now, 80% of all of our addicts come from an opioid. Prescription drug for pain. You are now messing up your brain by taking an opioid and risking addiction. I don't like that option. Option 2, right? Option 2 is become a criminal. Buy marijuana. Have your friend buy marijuana. Have your brother buy marijuana. I have women who come to me when I'm at a fair, and they go, Larry, I really hope you legalize marijuana. I have to smoke before I go to sleep because I can't sleep. So I have to get my son to go buy it for me. So now she's afraid she's going to make her son a criminal. He's going to go to jail. I'm not okay with that. Or the last one, suffer. I'm not okay with any of those. Instead, have a cannabis product. Whether that's an edible or a liquid or I don't care what it is. Again, my righteousness, I don't care. Happy New Yorkers. Happy New Yorkers. If you're a happy New Yorker, I'm good. That's what I'm looking for. So not concerned. You know, don't be a criminal instead. But Larry, I'm poor. Okay, I have an idea. I said onions. Can you grow onions in your backyard? You can. Grow your medicine in your backyard. I'm okay with home grows. If you wanna have a better life, have a better life. I'm not here to judge you. And to be clear, I'm not a guy who wants to smoke weed. I'm the squarest guy you're gonna find. The only drug I use is caffeine. Only the Mormons beat me, right? Only Mormons are squarer than I am, right? So I'm not gonna go smoke weed or whatever, it's not my thing. But I don't judge you if that's the way you can be a happier person. Please be a happier person. Yes, but I'm still not done. On top of that, we have an opioid crisis that is destroying our state. You legalize cannabis, 2 things happen. Less people become addicts. Why? They stop choosing opioids and they start choosing cannabis products, which means less people becoming addicts. And on top of that, if you want to get off your drug, there are cannabis products that will help treat withdrawal. You have an actual better chance of getting off your drug by using a cannabis product. For those of you who say, Larry, it increases crime, Larry, it increases this, you are wrong. But you know what? I said onions. There'll be no black market with onions. That's the issue, yes. I don't want to make a black market. If I tax it like there's no tomorrow, regulate it like no tomorrow, here's what I promise. Number 1, big business wins, small business loses, and black market continues. That's why I didn't say regulate it. I didn't say that. I said onions, because I don't want a black market. I've never seen an onion black market. Maybe there's one, I haven't seen it. That's what I'm talking about. Did I answer your question? Awesome. Yes. Yes. Yes, let me touch him, then I'll get you. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. You were waiting. Go ahead. Go ahead, you were waiting.
Okay, yeah, we talked about veterans.
Yep.
How we help the veterans with the homeless situation.
Yeah.
The ones with the PTSD.
Yep.
Because that's why they're going into prison.
Yep.
Because of the issue, because they're not getting the proper help.
100%.
Because there's not enough administration.
That's not the reason. You were right, wrong. The last piece was wrong. Everything else is correct. It's not because of administration. There are several things that are crushing our veterans, many of them. One of them is, as I mentioned, cannabis, because they can't take cannabis products, right? Cannabis is very good for PTSD. So that's number 1, but that isn't the end. That's only one answer. The other answer is the SAFE Act. The SAFE Act, if they go get help, they lose their Second Amendment rights. So many of them won't do it because of the SAFE Act. They won't go get help. Next thing. Third thing is, the VA is a broken system. There are some diamonds in the rough, but as a general, it's a broken system. So I'm the guy who's gonna be out there talking about it, trying to fix it. That's the one. I'm talking about trying to fix it. But there's even more. Housing, right? We have an issue with housing, and most of that is NIMBY, not my backyard, right? A lot of that's localized in zoning. But I can be the guy saying, let's change things. Let's fix things. Let's make things better, right? We can do that, yes. But that's not enough. I have to encourage people to do things like tiny houses, small houses, things of that sort, where vets are happy to live in for a short period of time. I work with a charity called Jericho Project. What Jericho Project does is, it says, if you're a veteran, you can actually live in this home, and all you have to do is agree to show whatever your income is. And you pay 1/3 of your income. That's it. If your income is $3, you pay $1. Right? What does that mean? They never throw you out. What does that mean? Eventually, you can make enough money to where it doesn't make sense because the rent's too high. and you can move out. I want more of these, where a vet can move in, be with other vets, feel that camaraderie, have that feeling, watch some people move up, realize they can move up, watch others get help, realize they should get help. That's the issue. We begin to fix that. When I work with veterans often, I'll do something that may sound funny, and civilians don't get this. I've actually told vets this. I've ordered them to do things. That sounds weird, right? Why would I order them? That seems mean and cruel. First off, I haven't been a sergeant in about 25 years. So I don't have any actually power over any of them. But I order them. Why? Because I know if I order them, that's the excuse they will use to go get help. Here's the problem, particularly the combat veterans, not only combat, but particularly combat veterans. When you're a combat veteran, particularly 1 or 2 tours in Afghanistan or Iraq, you're a badass. You are. I'll say it, you're a badass. So you don't want to get help. You don't want to admit that you have a problem. You don't want to do it. I understand that. So when I order you to get help, you go, well, I wouldn't be here, but that Sharpe guy ordered me to be here, so I'll show up. I'm not joking, that's how they do it. And I know that. So I order them. And we need more people to do stuff like that. And if you get a community, vets will do that. What vets are lacking more than anything else is community. Because when they come back, they are lonely. They are lonely. And that sounds so weird, but it's true. I'm the guy talking about it. I'm the guy coming with fixes. Yes, we'll support our veterans. Of course we will. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So, Zach, are we done?
Yeah, we gotta.
Okay, so guys, I want to say thank you for coming. I'm here for selfies. If you want to pick up a shirt, there's shirts here and shirts in the back if you want to pick up a shirt. If you want to support, remember, you can go to LarrySharpe.com or Larry Sharpe for New York Facebook page. But remember something very important. This is a winnable race. It's a winnable race. People will tell you it's not true. They will attack me and call me names. Say I'm in it for the wrong reason. Here is your response. Great, what's your plan? They will have no plan. Every plan I have, if you think it's wrong and you can get a better one, I will dump my plan in 5 seconds and take yours. I want to move forward. If you want to take credit for it, you can have credit for it. Did anybody here see my Joe Rogan interview? Some of you did. At the end of that Joe Rogan interview, Joe said, are these ideas yours? I said, yeah. You better lock those things down before they steal them. Remember that? What was my answer? Take them. I don't care. You can all take my answers. Take all of them. Just fix New York. I don't care. Take them all. That's what I want. Fix New York. If you want change, you've got to vote gold in 2018. If you want me to actually win this thing, you got to do 1 of 3 things. 1, you got to donate. How can I say donate? Because I'm donating. I am my 3rd largest donor. I put my own time and money into this campaign because I believe it. So I ask money from you too. I'm leading by example. 2, show up like you're doing thank you. I show up, you keep showing up. If there's an event that I'm at or an event that my lieutenant governor's at, and if you can make it, please go out of your way and show up. Showing up matters. We're showing up, please show up also. 3rd, tell people about this campaign. My number 1 issue, my only barrier to victory is name recognition. That's it. Tell people about this campaign. Either right in front, tell your friends, your family, share on Facebook, on Twitter, go out and tell your bosses, tell people you know, tell people about this campaign, and we can win this thing. Remember, it's LarrySharpe.com. And it's Larry Sharpe with an E, because the E stands for? Electable. Yes, it does. Thank you, guys.